What is going on? This is Zach, and welcome to the Man to Mike podcast. This is the very first episode, and this is something I have wanted to do for so long. It's ridiculous, and I am so grateful that I finally have the opportunity. And you know, when I do anything, if you know me at all, you know I don't do it halfway. And so we are in this thing, and we are going to do it. And so I'm just filled with a lot of gratitude that I'm able to do this right now. And it's kind of a surreal moment for me. And I know that we live in a culture that is just overpopulated with podcasts because everybody seems to have something to say. And I'm just another voice out here in the expansive, infinite universe, just trying to make a little bit of a difference in somebody's life. The point of this whole podcast, I went with the Man to Mike podcast. And one of the reasons why I want to do that is I want to gear towards a lot of men's issues. I want to focus a lot on some guys. I want to have some men on with some stories, some things they got to say, maybe some issues that they're going through, maybe some things that's not talked about a lot that needs to be talked about more. But I want to give guys a safe place they can sit down and we can just talk about things and we can just kick it for a while and just see what kind of happens. And, if you've got something that's going on in your life, maybe it's something that you're struggling with, and maybe it's something that is hard to talk about. But man, if you ever get the courage up and you want to sit down and talk about it, man, I would love to sit and just hear your story and what's going on with you. We all have our own things that we go through, and life molds and shapes us in so many different ways. And sometimes, you hear about people going through some weird, crazy things, and it's like, man, that's wild. It's crazy. But I can see how you got to that point. You can see how human nature works and how life kind of molds and shapes people. But then, sometimes we get into some places that we can't get out of through that. Maybe some addictions start popping up or something like that. And so, when I have my own history with addiction, and so addiction is definitely something I want to talk about, and I want to have some recovering addicts on here and give some people some recovery, some strength, and some hope, and some love. And like I said, I just want this to be a safe place where some men can come and sit down and have a conversation. I went with Man to the Mike for the name of this podcast. And the reason is because I feel like we live in a culture where if you say that you're a man, it's kind of deemed that this is an aggressive or a hostile kind of thing. And because we live in a really weird culture right now. But that's okay, because I want you to know that it is okay to come out and just say, I'm a man, and it doesn't have to be an aggressive or hostile thing. So I'm a man, and this is the mic, and we're going to get down to it, and we're going to talk about some things, and it's going to be okay, and we're going to maybe travel down some rough and torrential roads at some point in time, but we're going to cross through that journey together. And I'm excited. This right here is my setup in the background that I've been working so hard on for the last little bit, and I'm so grateful that it's pretty much finished. There's a few other little tweaks and stuff that I want to do, and I'm still waiting on my podcast arm, so I'm not still sitting here holding this mic, but one way or the other, I was just ready to get on here and bring something to you. So I finished up the studio for the most part and just wanted to sit down and kind of introduce myself. And for those of you that maybe don't know me, and this is going to change. The setup and background is going to change just a little bit. I do plan on having guests on pretty often. I believe I've got somebody lined up for next week that I'm pretty excited about, and try to bring you at least one person a week if possible, so I don't bore you with just my face. And so, once again, I'm just so grateful to be here, and anybody that supports me, I appreciate you so much. I really, really do. I'm excited for this process because I feel like there's going to be some humility that's going to be learned in the process for myself. I feel like it's going to be good for me. Sometimes when you just sit down and you just talk to people that's going through some things, it'll put your own life in perspective, and sometimes that's just good. We sit there and we can only see what's right in front of us in our own lives, and we forget so many times that there's people out there all around us that's going through some things, and we don't really consider that. We're so caught up in our own stuff. And so, it's so good just to sometimes sit, especially when you're so caught up in yourself. I like to sit and just kind of ask people some questions. It's kind of what's kind of sparked this whole thing for me, is just the curiosity of sitting and talking to people that's going through things that's uncomfortable. And when I sit down and start asking people questions, it's amazing at how many people just open up. people that you wouldn't think that would open up will open up to you some wild things if you'll just ask them some questions. And so, and then once you start hearing about what they're going through, it'll put your own life into perspective so much, and it'll give you some gratitude for the things that you have and the things that maybe you're not going through. Put your problems on a smaller scale, and that's always a good thing to do. And because when you see your problems on a smaller scale, it makes you realize that you can reach out and help some other people that's dealing with those bigger scale issues. You know what I'm saying? And we're all just here, people helping people, and that's what we need to be doing a little bit more of. I need to be doing more of. I don't do so good at it. I get caught up in myself a lot, and I become a pretty self-centered person from time to time. And but that's okay, though. I have a good family. I have an awesome wife. I have a beautiful support system. I have people that will call me out, and everybody needs that in life. And so I'm grateful for the friends that I have today, the ones that are encouraging me and cheering me on to start this new venture and this new journey. And I will have many of them on there as well. And I enjoy sitting and introducing you to my friends and having some conversation with them so you can see how we kick it, what we do. And but anyway, some things that we're interested in, some things that I'm interested in, some of my own personal hobbies, my own passions, the things that I like, just so you know, because there'll be some things that we're talking about. I am very into photography. I love photography. I am a wedding photographer. I've been doing it for about 7 years now. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I kind of started venturing into some videography as well. And so, and when I do anything, like I said, I do everything all the way, 110%. And so, I've got quite the setup right here around me right now, if you only knew, just for somebody getting started at this, because when we jump in, and we make things happen. And so anyway, photography, videography are some things that I love. Bodybuilding is something that I love. It's something that keeps me really focused. It's a beautiful thing to start your day with. Not bodybuilding, just exercise in general, a little cardio, a little fitness. Put your mind in a good state once you push yourself to do something difficult right off the bat, first thing in the morning. And so I really enjoy that. So we'll be having some people on talking about some of those things. We have a large family. I have collectively between me and my wife, there are 7 children running around from time to time up in this place, and we have a good time. And so there's all kinds of things that we can talk about. I'm an electrician by trade. Been in the union for 10 years now, and proud union member. And so if you're out there working for a non-union contractor, you should come and talk to the IBEW. Shameless plug there. I got a guy I can hook you up with. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you at some point in the near future, I will probably have that gentleman on here, and we will have some solid conversation on what's going on in the construction industry. So anyway, this was not supposed to end up being a whole podcast. This was supposed to be a quick interview, or a quick introduction, I should say, and then we was just going to move right on. But this is really easy. It's just something I really like doing. I could sit here and just talk. And, this is no different than me, just standing in the bathroom. If I'll be real honest, I can sit here and have conversation just like this by myself, and that's okay. So if nobody else is listening, that doesn't really bother me. I really wish you would, because I would like to share some things with you, and I think that we can learn some things from each other. But if not, it's cool. It's just like me sitting here talking to myself in the mirror in the bathroom, having a nice long 30-minute conversation. So no worries. But I would like for you to tune in and join me, participate, talk to me. Let's make some things happen. So, gentlemen, if you're going through some things, if you want to talk about some things, if you want to come on the show, let's make that happen. This is the Man to Mike podcast. I am Zach. I am a man. This is the Mike, and we're out. See you next time.